them, mainly creating MVPs. And the main goal for us, and we try to achieve the last years, we were creating a platform, a service platform within the pharmacy office, deploying it with these 15,000 pharmacy offices through the ERPs, and bringing this channel to third parties. And we thought it's quite difficult for us to bring the big corporates to offer innovative services. No? Then we decided which are the players that may use really more efficiently this channel, startups. And from that point, any startup that comes with us, we show how is our ecosystem. We show them the different pathways that they can obtain from our ecosystem and different channels, and this touch that they not only have with the pharmacy office, only with their clients. No? We offer them to have access to 2.2 million clients every day in the pharmacy offices, and for them was a very, very quick way to accelerate this business. No? Then from that point, we have been working not only with these programs, we have also direct access, and we offer direct communication with the startups, and we are still young in all this way, but we have been achieving different innovation in services that now the pharmacy offices are benefiting from them, and I think has been very successful. We have a lot of things to do, a lot of plans to do, but we are still young, and as I told you, we have also to work hardly all the internal innovation, not only with our employees, also with our owners, the pharmacy offices, to change their minds and to tell them that there are a lot of things that they can offer directly to their consumers and to their society because they are health public service.
Yeah. I think this is really interesting because, as you know, the ownership of Cofares are from the owners of the pharmacies. So it's difficult how to align the goals from your company and to the goals of your cooperative with the goals of the owners, no? Because sometimes it's really difficult because perhaps you can see something, we were talking that before, no? You see something really clear that it's a really good opportunity to invest in, but they don't think so because of whatever, no? So I think that this is a really important thing to try to manage, no? It's your role. I think it's a bit tough because sometimes it's very difficult just to focus on that. But are you thinking from Cofares to use joint venture as a way of innovation, or?
Yeah, the first joint venture that we created 3 years ago, it was with Glint. It's a technology Portuguese company that is owned by the National Pharmaceutics Association in Portugal. That is the 100% of the pharmacy officers in Portugal. And it was a completely innovation for Cofares because we never had a joint venture. We never had a company that was not owned 100% of Cofares. That was quite different. Yeah. And it's because, as you said, disruption in a cooperative sometimes, and in a regulated sector, sometimes is or means for them threat. No? Always the threat that you are disruptive, then you're going to change everything. Then it was the first step, and from that point, in our Open Innovation program, what we are doing with them is we are open for normal investments, no? Through our funds and through our programs, but also we are making joint ventures, showing them that if you are not interested to bring Cofares on board, we are offering you a commercial perspective that we can accelerate your business through joint venture, other formulas. I think sometimes it's more effective.
Oh, thank you for enlightening us about your experience here. I think it's really, really interesting. Moving forward, and thank you very much. Now we will move to Nacho. As we've seen, innovation needs also investment to take place in, whether it's in human resources or capital. Focus on capital, and when talking about start innovation, Nacho, how do venture capitals like Adara enable innovation and dynamize the economy?
All right, so first of all, good morning, everyone. I want to put everyone on the same page just to make sure that we understand venture capital as the same thing. Even though we're in Startup Ole, so I would assume that most of us are quite familiar with it. But let's take it as a financial instrument that mainly takes like more risks than typical or traditional financial vehicles or financial products. So in that sense, we are pushing those early initiatives that Leonardo was mentioning earlier that for sure imply more risks since they are like from the very beginning uncertain things to explore. Even with technological transfer in place, we may see that there's still that uncertainty, even though like researchers have done their job and we have actually quite moved forward. So at some point, like whether it is in the form of like entrepreneurship with corporates doing that part of assuming the costs, or if it's externally, it's when we come into place and when we actually invest in those entrepreneurs and what we would call the startups. So venture capitals would not invest our own money, so that's something also to highlight here, right? And that's where I think also we really get together also with the concept of open innovation, because at the end of the day, we based our funds on LPs, okay, so limited partners that contribute with their money so that we manage it for them. And these LPs tend to be, whether they're corporates, family offices, different institutions, public funds as well, right? We can see like the EIF in Europe, the ICO in Spain. So all those contribute to these funds. And I think at that stage, we're for sure contributing to the economy in the sense of like looking for return, looking for financial return. But I think we lose focus when we only think about the money in the impact we're making, right? We're just like getting skin in the game. Of course, we're looking for business, but at the same time, we want to contribute, right? We want to make that impact, and that's where I believe like it makes sense our job, and that's where we also look to differentiate, to position ourselves as venture capitals, and really add value to the entrepreneur and accompany them through the entire journey that may be painful, and in some circumstances we can help. And having said so, coming back to the corporates contributing, it's interesting because corporates may help through like corporate venture capital to these startups straightforward, and this is a very good way to really like move things forward. But I want to introduce here a concept that may not be so new, maybe very new, sorry, here in Spain. I don't want to disclose much, but we're, for example, working with corporates already in order to create, like, externalize their venture capital services or their venture capital efforts, so that they leave people that are used to, like, manage funds with startups while still contributing and acting as industrial partners and delivering that smart money, right? I think it's the concept of a smart money comes very valuable here when we talk about like pushing forward an entire nation and not only focusing on a startup, really contributing from corporates, small enterprises that can add knowledge or prior experience in different sectors, in different verticals, would also like help those startups achieve their goals faster in many cases, and in some other circumstances even help the corporate itself to develop more their business, to really, like, in some circumstances, do some M&A, get them in-house. I'm sure, like at Cofares, you have seen that as well. So again, where there is a player that really want to dynamize the ecosystem, and from there, we're more of an spectator, not so much proactive, right? We're not executing, but always going together with entrepreneur and trying to get all the players in the equation.
And for those that the things that the value relies on the money, just on the money from venture capital, what will you say to them? Because as you have explained, I think that the most powerful tool that you have is not just the money. You have a broad catalog of availability to give to the company. What will you say to them?
Well, if we get into that point, what I would say is, first of all, I mean, you just see the numbers, and venture capital got very competitive, right? When Adara started like 17 years ago, like you would see only around 12, 15 funds registered to really manage as venture capitals. And now if you see the numbers, like completely exploded. So we really have to position ourselves, and luckily for the entrepreneur, we have to add more value, right? To really get into the deals and not lose them, because again, we're doing business. So focus more on that part of the added value, because it's gonna bring the difference. Like, there are funds for sure that would be interested in your solution if it makes sense. So just go for that added value. And one special tip that I would deliver here, and it's something that we also value from the entrepreneur, is when they actually went out and asked the portfolio companies, how does this investor work with you, right? Like, what's the actual value that they are delivering through the path? And I mean, in our case, for example, we go from seed to exit. So I mean, we really go from seed to exit and help from the very early stages of building up a commercial team to like the final part of doing M&A, going for an IPO. So try to really gather information. Of course, there are no like Amazon reviews that are super accessible, but make that extra effort to really look for that value that would make a difference and could even like make the huge difference to make it successful for your company.
Okay. And what, apart from that, what would you recommend to somebody that's looking for a venture capital in order to choose the right partner? I mean, could you give some details about that? I mean, why? I mean, not that there are notes to complain on, but which are the things that you think that are the key in order to choose one venture capital from others? Is sector or?
I mean, we tend to see now also verticalized venture capitals, which I think is quite interesting, like in energy transition, impact funds, under Article 9, for example. That probably makes a lot of sense because, again, it's not only that the fund is specialized and the partner and the analyst would be specialized for analyzing your startup properly, but also the LPs, the people putting the money behind it, would probably come from the industry itself. So in that sense, I will really build up this advisory committee, if you want to call it, that would promote your business, like, again, would even like give you direct access to different clients, different partners that would help you with that. So, I mean, if you have the chance to look for specialized funds, super nice opportunity. If not, I mean, it's a matter of doing the homework, doing some research, and of course, I mean, the due diligence have to go both ways, right? So I think it's also a job to be done there for a few times, yeah.
Cool, really cool. Yeah, thank you very much. So I think that we are almost on time. I will just like to finish this panel, thanking to our colleagues, Leonardo, Mariano, Jorge and Nacho. And I would like to point out something, I mean, we've seen from the public point of view, the importance of the link for open innovation to be there, just to link it with some examples about the transfer that I think that are really, really interesting to put into practice and to know what I like to say, the network effect, no? And then examples like Cofares, your experience, I think it's really, really interesting for us. And finally, about venture capital, because sometimes there's some people that finally don't know they think that they are a bit worried about which one they will try to bet on, no? So I think it's been a really good panel. I would like to thank for the opportunity to Startup Olé from all of our 5. And if anyone has any questions, we will be able to answer it. Or if you want, some of you want to point out something else or to add something, feel free to.
Yeah, it's working? Yeah. I'd just like to say we launched the legal framework for startups in 2021. And we are open to receive proposals for partnerships and to bring investments to Brazil and Brazilian investments to España also. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, and now we'll finish this panel, and now it's time for the next roundtable of globalization of investment that will follow on. I think that perhaps now 2-3 minutes of break. So we will leave right now, and thank you very much for your time. Okay.